Hey everybody, welcome back to another Horn Woodworks video. Today we're going to be making a wine holder for my buddy Jim. He used to work with me. He moved on to farming full time. He's got a horrible taste in tractors. The wine holder should be green and yellow, but it's black and red. So we don't get into that too much in this video. But anyway, this is part 1 of 2. So stay tuned for part 2. And I will see you guys in the video. Alright, so we are going to resaw down this piece of 8-quarter cherry. We bit off more than we can chew. As you can see, the little table saw could not handle that deep of a cut. So we're going to lower the blade down, make multiple passes on both these pieces. It's pretty sketchy doing this on a table saw. You know, you really want a bandsaw for that kind of an operation. So here I'm just going to rough cut everything using that shadow line you can see there on the piece of wood. Accuracy is not a gigantic deal. Obviously you don't want to be like 10 inches off of your mark, but if you're, a 16th or an eighth of an inch off, it's okay because you got 3 or 4 inches of wiggle room here. Okay, time to surface plane. So get everything to the same thickness, and this thing creates a lot of chips, as you will see in a minute. I sped this up to 1500 times speed because there's a lot of planing. Alright, so you see all the chips there. It's just makes a mess. Probably the messiest tool in the whole thing.
Albert!
Mr. Albert coming to visit us.
Here? What's up here?
Pug, little shop
Hey.
dog.
What's up here? Hi. Come here. Come here. Hi, get up. What's up here? What's up here? What's up here? Where's Jared? Where is he? What's over here? What's over here?
Alright, so right here we got a shot of all of the woods that we're using. Walnut, the maple, the cherry. So we're going to clean up all these edges here in a second. Alright, so you can kind of see the cup that we're working with here. It's pretty significant, so we gotta try to take out as much as possible. See the big gaps in the wood there. So this is what we're gonna do. It's an old trick. Take a 4-foot level, make sure that both tips of the wood are touching it, and then it's gonna mirror the straightness of the level onto the other side, because that's how a table saw works, right? Whatever is against the fence is what you get on the other side of the blade. So you see how tapered this offcut is closest to the camera. Watch at the very end, it goes down to almost nothing. You see that? That's because of the big cup that was in the piece of wood. So now we're gonna, flip it, put that cut side against the fence, and the other side will come out perfectly flat, like perfectly square to the other end, like to the other side. So see how consistent that next offcut is. Alright, so here, speed it up a whole bunch again. It's just more of the same. Just ripping down all of our pieces so we get, the size we want and nice clean edges. Right here, my dad didn't know I was recording this part. He's just cutting up a whole bunch of scraps. Okay, more rough cuts. Look at here, this piece we're going to rip in half so that we can put our maple and cherry detail in the middle. You'll see in a couple minutes here what I'm talking about. We did not film the ripping down of the maple because it was 1/4 inch strips on this table saw and didn't want the camera rolling because that just adds added pressure, and it's always in the back of your mind. It's sketchy enough to do it, just without the camera rolling. We didn't want the camera rolling. So yeah, they're 1/4 inch wide, and then we flipped, rotated that, and we ripped a 1/4 inch off the length, so they sit down 1/4 inch from the top of from the face of the boards. So it was pretty sketchy. We just took our time and were careful and did not stand behind the blade because if kickback happened, we didn't want to be anywhere near it. So see right here, see the maple, see how it sits down 1/4 inch. So. And this is the difference that the cherry stain makes on the cherry. Makes it look a lot more like cherry. Okay, here I'm going to sand all the faces because we can't really restain. You'll see I had to a little bit, but can't really restain because I didn't want to get any on the cherry and the maple. Kind of messed that up. Any black stain on the cherry, and any cherry stain on the walnut, and no stain on the maple. So you can see when you put stain on, it just looks like paint. It just looks like putting on black paint until I wipe it off. So we made a boo-boo. We actually forgot to account for how far down we needed our wine glass holder to be. So this is going to be a piece of walnut that's going to be glued onto the bottom of the back, and we're going to laminate it on there. Right now we're just datoing out a slot for for the glass holder itself. Okay, so you see what I mean? It has to be laminated on the bottom there. So that whole board should have been that long to begin with. So, and there's the glue up. We used almost all of our clamps for this glue up. We're gonna need to get more. Right, more surface planing. You'll really see how many chips this makes. Like that's pass number 1, all those chips. Like this thing, it just, just turns boards into sawdust. Okay, so right here we're gonna rip off those 2 pieces of live edge that you can see on the back of the back, the one side of that board. You see it right there facing my dad. Rip those off because we don't want those on this project. Okay, so the glue up was done at 6 o'clock in the morning the next day. Had to work that day, and I was off the following day, so we wanted to make sure that the glue was nice and dry before I was able to work on it next. So I did this 6 o'clock in the morning, and then went to work right after it, so it was an early morning. And we used pretty much all of our clamps again for this glue up. It was really an exercise in trying to get the most out of each individual clamp. And you'll see here in a second, we try to hit these pieces of maple down so that we're not doing it right there. So try to do it flush. And I showed it to the Veritas cabinet maker scraper. Thing works awesome for doing scraping off these like the little balls of glue that you get from the glue squeeze out. Here we're gonna do some sanding. I'll pass you over to President Jarrett here in a second.
I'm gonna cut it here. I don't think you guys want to watch 2 hours of scraping and sanding, so I'll pick it up when I'm done. I guess I'll see you guys at noon. Yay. Alright, it's been about 15 minutes. The glue's really on there pretty good. I'm gonna switch over to some of this Diablo sand net. The glue really clogs up the sandpaper in a hurry, so
gonna switch over to this. It's really good stuff. Um, it's nice because especially if you're doing like any refinishing, or even with the glue, when it clogs up, you can just run it under some warm water and it'll wash it right out, and you can keep reusing it over and over and over again. And they come with this like Velcro pad that goes onto your sander, and then this will stick right to it, and it makes it a lot easier to use. Makes it a lot easier to use it that way than trying to get it onto your sander just the normal way. So it's 9:15 now. We'll see how long this takes, but I'm not very optimistic, that's for sure. I don't know, it's going to be a lot of sanding. Then I'm going to have to restain the back of this, the back of the backboard, and the back of this one. You guys can see here all the glue squeeze out. It's unavoidable when you laminate. That's why we stained beforehand. But man, is it ever going to look good when it's done? But we got a lot of sanding and a lot of scraping and a lot of music to listen to today by the sounds of it. So I will catch back up with you guys next time I have something important to say. Until then, I'll be sanding. Alright, update. It is now 9:38, and as you can see here, my light died. I'll try to turn it on, but it won't last very long, I don't think. We're doing pretty good. Still got quite a bit of glue squeeze out, but it's low here because we couldn't get biscuits in here very easily. Yeah, light just died. Couldn't get biscuits in here very easily. So thin. So it's a little uneven on the glue up, but it's starting to look okay. You can really see the difference. I got most of the stain sanded off of it now, trying to get the glue out. And you can see like the cherry doesn't even look very red compared to the walnut. And then when you look at this piece, right, the difference is just astonishing. So that's why we're gonna stain it, right? That's why we stained it. And here you can see on the back side of this piece, I haven't even touched it yet. It is really grody. There's a lot of glue squeeze out. So gonna have to deal with that. And then even on the front here, get the sawdust wiped away. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I gotta find it again. Right, oh yeah, it shows up on camera. Right here on the very face, there's one here and there's one over in this area. But this one you can really see. Same with right here. Got some here. Just when we did the glue up, it was probably on our hands or something. Just a really thin sheen of it. And it's going to be a real pain in the butt to get it out because it's the face. That's what you're going to see, right? So, well, when we think of a solution to this problem, we'll let you guys know. It'll probably just be a little, like, really light hand sanding until it's gone. And then put some stain on a shop towel or something and just brush it back on lightly. We'll see, but anyway, so it's now 40 minutes of sanding. And I am about half done the top side of this back piece. I still got most of this to do. I could get this part. I moved the clamp over. I could get it, but in and around here, you can still see all the unsanded wood. So, anyway, I'll get back at it. Alright, so I got most of off the surface of this sanded here. Everything now is sunken in. I'm going to try something we've only used a couple times before. We took this old file. Make sure I can get it in a shot here. We took this old file. I just took it over there to the bench grinder. We ground out this little shape. It's got a little hook on it. we made it just for one project where we were cleaning out a lot of detail work like this. We were refinishing an old coffee table. It worked pretty good, but we're gonna see, it can gouge the wood pretty bad, but this is the back side too. So, we'll see how it goes. I'll just keep this running. I'll just time lapse it for you guys because it's gonna take a minute. It's 9:45. I'll check back with you guys when it's done. I don't think this is gonna work, boys and girls. Alright, plan B. What do you are? 120, you are 120 as well. You, my worn out friend, are 120. You guys might have saw me using this in the last video there with the barbecue scraper. All it is one of these sanding discs that's getting pretty beat up. Like all around in here is all beat to hell, and all I do is I just fold them, and I keep them in my apron usually right here. I can actually have one in here right now. Unscripted. Look at that. So you keep them, keep them folded up. This one's 80, 120, and I usually keep a 220. It's over there in my apron, just so you can hand sand like I did on that barbecue scraper over there. Just the edges of it, right? You can sand them off. They also work pretty good. You can just get a little corner. Sometimes you can get them in here into like tight spaces like this. Come on. Where you can't get your sander. We have a pad sander as well that just uses normal sandpaper. But, same problem. Can't get it in here. That'll have to be the ticket, I think. It's going to take for friggin' ever, but that'll look good for Jim. Jimbo, if you're watching, this is how much work goes into a stupid wine holder. So, I hope you like it. The wrong colors, it should be green and yellow. But we won't talk about that here on camera. So, them's fighting words, I suppose. Alright, I'm going to cut it here so I can save a little bit of space on this storage medium here. I'll check back with you guys in a bit. Oh, look at that, it's 10 o'clock. Woo! Whew. All right. Well, that don't look too bad. Get behind the camera here so I can light up this shot. It don't look too bad. I turned on the light as well. Jeez Louise. First day on the job or something here. Alright, so got most of the glue squeezed out, nothing that won't be hidden. Ah, crap. There's one spot there I missed. Ah. This is the way. Always is, always will be. Alright, that'll have to do for now. I'll come back again in a little bit here. Hit it one more time. Probably won't record it though because nobody likes sanding, especially the people that are doing it. But it is a necessary evil. And anybody ever get anything to look good. So hit it with this 80 real quick. Try to break up some of the last little stragglers. There, that is pretty good. Move on to the next one. Go one down, one to go. Alright. And still gotta do the front side of that yet too, son of a gun. I forgot about that. The glue squeezed out on the top of the laminated piece here. Look at all that goopy mess of loveliness, eh? Oh, golly. Alright. This one should be, relatively easy. You can see there's only a little bit of squeeze out in this general area here for the whole length of it. That was sarcasm, by the way, if you missed it. Alrighty. Well, wish me luck. See you guys in an hour. Alright, got most of the glue squeezed out off the front. I think I got all of it here off the these flat parts. I gotta now get in here again with the sandpaper / file makeshift scraper thingy. Clean it out. And I gotta really lightly hand sand the front. I'll show you guys how I'm gonna do that. We're gonna see how it works out. Hopefully it goes good. It's gonna be kind of nerve-wracking because I do not want to get any stain on this maple. That'll be a real what's the politically correct way of saying it that I won't get demonetized here. It'll be heartbreaking, let's say, if I get it on this maple. I'll be a tad frustrated. So let's see how it goes. Wish me luck.
I think the best way to do this will be another time lapse. Wish I could time lapse it in real life. That would be really nice. But anyway, see you guys in a few minutes. For you it'll be, I don't know, 45 seconds. Alright, got it pretty good. Now it's time for the face here. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to really gently, everywhere I see a little bit of glue, I'm going to go with the grain so that it hides the scratch marks from the sandpaper. I'm going to go with the grain, and I'm just going to lightly go over the glue. So I might kind of down here in an area there. Just real light. Really light. I'm hardly putting any pressure on it. Just enough so that it takes away that little bit of glue. Like Adam Savage says, you want to hide your crimes, right? You want to hide your crimes. So, it's just real light. Barely even touching it. Okay, I'll show you guys the sandpaper. See, I just did that whole face and I barely got any on there. So I don't want to take away too much of it. So, and that's mostly just glue. Yeah, that's mostly just glue that's on there right now. Hardly any stain. Like this one. Here, let me get a closer up shot of it. Alright. Yeah, you kinda can. Right in here. In this area. Just gonna really lightly. A couple more. And there, it's gone. I think. Yep, it's gone. Perfect. Double check down this way. Good. Alright, everybody. Sorry that last clip got cut short. Ran out of storage. So I just wanted to quickly show you guys how I've been cleaning out the face of this. A little bit of glue squeeze out on the maple. All I did was take a piece of 220 sandpaper and I just folded it to the rough shape of this with a little bit of give in it, just so that just a little bit of wiggle in it, so I'm not running along the stained edges here too much. And I've just been going back and forth like this really lightly, and after each pass checking, and then just again, wherever there's glue, just another light pass. And we're getting there, slowly but surely. I'll check back with you guys when it's time to get the glue off of the face. Ran out of storage again. Anyway, I got it all done now. Got all that glue off. The next step will be to restain it. So this one's done. Time to move on to the face of the back.
I've never seen this before. Look, there's stain coming out of the grain of the wood where I'm sanding. You can see that it's stained because if I go like this, it's actually stained. But it's soaked into the pores, and then now that I've sanded away the surface, it's coming back to the surface. It's really neat. I've never seen that before. I didn't know wood did that under stain. That's pretty neat. So the stain still isn't dry. It's been like 4 days. That's really cool.
Alright, sanding is completed. So, turned out pretty good. Gonna take a break now. Gotta make some room on my phone. Storage is pretty much full. So, all in all, turned out pretty good, and I was a pretty good guess. It is 12:16 p.m. Look at that. So not a bad guess at all. How long it was going to take, but all in all, it's a pretty good job done here. And catch you guys doing the next thing. I don't know what's next. I got to think about that. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed part 1 of the wine holder video. As you saw there right at the end, just finished sanding and everything. It was a real pain in the butt doing all that sanding. We got it done in the end though, so we'll see how it turns out in part 2. I'm pretty impressed with how it turned out. Jim loved it. So anyway, stay tuned for part 2. Should be coming here in the next few days to a week. But until then, take care.